these are your notes for sum of angles in a triangle. The sum, and I know sum is the answer to an addition problem. So when I am finding the sum, I am adding all things together. So the sum of measures of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So what that means is all three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. All three angles have to add up to 180. Okay? You can remember there's three numbers in 180, so three angles have to equal 180. Number one, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. So write an equation to solve for x. Well, I know that all three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. This should be an x, not a question mark. Okay? So I could write an equation, 55 plus 82 plus x, so this plus this has to equal 180. Then I could combine like terms, so I'm combining my 55 and 82. So 55 plus 82 is 8 plus 5 is 13, 137. So that means 137 plus x has to equal 180. And then I could cut my equation in half and then isolate my variables. So to get rid of positive 130, I'm going 137. I'm going to subtract 137 from both sides. That cancels. I'm left with x. 180 minus 137, to borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So x equals 43 degrees. Oops. X equals 43 degrees. Now I can always plug this back in. 55 plus 82, I did here, plus 43 is 180, so I know I did that right. So one way is to set up an equation. The second way, I'm going to show you over here on number 2. I do know that all three angles have to add up to 180, so I can add the two angles I already currently have, 65 plus 30, that's 95. So I know I'm at 95 so far, and I need to get up to 180, because the sum of all these is 180. So if I'm already at 95 and I need to figure out what's missing, I can just do 180 minus 95. I'm going to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. I cannot do 7 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8. So here, x equals 85 degrees. If I were to check, I could add them all back together. So 65 plus 30 plus 85. So I've already done 65 plus 30. I'm just going to add the 85 in here. And that is indeed 180. So I did it correctly. Guys, you should never get any of these wrong because you can always plug it back in and check it. So there's no reason you should ever get any of these wrong. Number 3. All three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180, but this only gives me 52 degrees. So, I'm going to make this x, sorry. What can I do here? Well, I do see this box right here in the corner, and that should be a light bulb to me that this is a right angle, so this is 90 degrees. Remember, right angles, we don't always have to write the 90 degrees. We just know it's 90 because this box tells us it's a right angle, which always equals 90 degrees. So I am going to, on this one, use the method I used on number 2. I'm going to add what I know, so 90 plus 52. 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 plus 5 is 14. And then what I'm going to do, since I know I'm up to 142, I got to figure out what's missing. So I'm going to do 180 minus 142. Borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 4 is 3. So x equals 38 degrees. If I were to plug it back in and check it, 90 plus 52 plus 38 should equal 180. I've already done 90 plus 52 right here. 142 plus 38 is indeed 180, so I know I did that correctly. Number 4, this one's a little different because x is being multiplied by 4. So we can still approach it the same way. We are going to end up having to solve an equation, but I still like this method the most. It's my favorite. I think it's easier for my brain to understand, so I'm probably going to keep doing it that way. All right, I'm going to add the two angles that I know together. 36 plus 24. 6 plus 4 is 10. 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. Okay, then I'm going to subtract 60 from 180 to figure out what is left. So I know that this angle right here has to equal 120 degrees. Well, I found the measure of the angle, but that's not solving my problem. I want to know what x is. And all the other ones, x was by itself, like that was the angle. But now I have a coefficient of 4. So I need to set up a one-step equation here. I know that 4x is going to have to equal 120 degrees, because I know that this angle is 120 degrees, because that's what I figured out. So I can set those two equal to each other and then just solve my one-step equation. Opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing. Those cancel. 120 divided by 4. 120 divided by 4. 4 won't go into 1, but it goes into 12 3 times. Minus 12 is 0. 4 goes into 0, 0 times. So x equals 30. I could go back and check my work by plugging 30 in for x, and 4 times 30 would be 120. 120 plus 24 plus 36 is 180, so I know I did it right. Number 5. I don't know if you can read that, but it says 5x, and then this is 50. So I see my right angle here. Just like on number 3, that's a red flag to me, or not a red flag, but a light bulb that, oh, hey, that's 90 degrees. I know that. So again, I'm going to follow the same process that I did on number 4. I'm going to add together what I know. 90 plus 50. That's 140. So I know that these two angles added together is 140. So I need to figure out what's left to get to 180. So 180 minus 140 is 40 degrees. So I know that this angle right here has to equal 40 degrees, but that doesn't solve my problem. I need to know what x is. But since I know that this angle has to equal 40 degrees, that means that 5x has to equal 40 degrees, because 5x is 40 degrees. So I can set those two equal to each other, cut it in half. Opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing. I'm going to do that to both sides, and I get x equals 8. Okay, so I'm going to plug this back in just to check. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 plus 50 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. So I know I did that correct. Notice that I didn't put a degree symbol on this, because x is not, it's not 8 degrees. This whole angle is 40 degrees. We figured that out. The whole angle is 40 degrees. X by itself is just 8. 5 times 8 gets me 40 degrees. All right, number 6. Oh, this one is different than all the other ones because I can't add together what I already know because I don't have a number measure for my angle. So I'm going to have to come back to, like I did in step 1 and write out the whole equation. So 2x plus 2x plus x has to equal 180. On this side, I can combine like terms. So if you remember from combining like terms, I say to give everything a name. So like we'll say x is x-rays. So this is 2 x-rays plus 2 x-rays plus 1 x-ray. So 2 plus 2 plus 1 is a total of 5 x-rays. So I just combined all those together. And that equals 180. Now I'm down to my one-step equation. Opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing. I'm going to do that to both sides. 180 divided by 5. 5 won't go into 1, but it goes into 18 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. I get 3. Bring down my 0. 5 goes into 30. 6 times exactly. So x equals 36. If I were to go in and check this x would be 36 degrees. 2 times x, or 2 times 36, is 72. So that would be the same thing here. If I were to add all of that together, I should get 180. So let's check. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 3 is 18. So check, I did it right. So just remember when you're finding the missing angle or solving for a variable in a triangle that all of the angles, the sum, okay, of all of the angles in a triangle have to equal 180 degrees.